Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the May meeting of Portsmouth Police Commission. I'd like to officially call the meeting to order, and we'll begin with a Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now if I can request a motion to suspend the other agenda items and move up the swearing-in ceremony under the chief's report.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Just stand right here. I'd like to introduce you to our newest police officer, Ben Antonellis. Ben started his career here with the Portsmouth Police Department on December 12th, 2023. He's a recent graduate of the 191st New Hampshire Police Academy. Ben is a native of Exeter, New Hampshire, and he graduated with a degree in criminal justice from Merrimack College. He recently completed a summer internship with our department as well. Put your hand up. And repeat after me.
Okay.
I state your name.
I, Benjamin Antonellis,
The above named appointee
the above named appointee,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform all duties
discharge and perform all duties
incumbent on me
incumbent on me
as a police officer, constable, and night watchman
as a police officer, constable, and night watchman
of said city of Portsmouth,
of said city of Portsmouth,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
agreeable to the rules and regulations
agreeable to the rules and regulations
of the Constitution
of the Constitution
and laws of the state of New Hampshire.
and the laws of the state of New Hampshire.
So help me God.
So help me God.
No, you don't have to. By virtue of the authority vested in me through the Police Commission and RSA 105-C, trusting in your integrity and fidelity, do hereby constitute and appoint you as a police officer, constable, and night watchman of said city of Portsmouth, with all the power and authority and subject to all the duties and liabilities provided by the law. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Your mother's going to come continue. And once she does this, we'll take a few pictures.
Okay.
Aye. Let's go get a picture with them. Thank you. Get a picture of these two. We'll get a picture together.
Congratulations. Welcome. We know you're going to be very busy. We appreciate you on the job to work. Yeah. So we're also going to go ahead and honor and celebrate recognition Detective Rochelle Jones for her Child Advocacy Award. Now to turn it over to you, Chief, for the same.
Detective Jones recently received an award for outstanding services provided to the Child Advocacy Center, and I'll read what was said to her and her receipt of this reward. She recently earned a prestigious award for the Child Advocacy Center for involvement in implementing a minimal facts worksheet into the police department's protocol. This document helps to ensure that only the minimal amounts of facts are asked while interviewing child victims, as not to re-victimize them. Since minimal facts can mean different things to different officers, this worksheet provides a guideline to create consistency in department interviewing practices. Rochelle's involvement in implementing this worksheet ensures that victims will forever be treated with sensitivity and that first responders will be equipped with the tools and knowledge to do so. Rochelle's award read, "A champion for children, ensuring the safety, health, and well-being of abused kids and honoring those who have gone above and beyond in the fight against child abuse. Thank you, Detective Jones, for your dedication and care for helping victims of crime and improving police practices for the greater good of our department and our community." Thanks again, Rochelle.
Thank you very much. We are honored to have you in this community, and we sincerely appreciate your work. Congratulations. Okay, so now we will get back to the regular scheduled agenda items. You're all welcome to stay, no obligation. It's a very lively discussion.
Wow.
Talk about clearing a room.
Congratulations.
Madam
Thank you. All right. With that, can I get a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And that was the minutes for April 18th. Open it up to public comment. I don't see anyone here prepared to offer public comments, so we'll go ahead and move on. And under Police Commission agenda items, we'll start with a facilities update and anything new, Chief, on restoration efforts.
There's nothing new to pass on since our last meeting. We still have our last phase to finish as dispatch center, but we're still not prepared staffing-wise to make that move yet.
Okay. Any other questions on the restoration? And then next steps for public safety facility planning, maybe we'll start with Commissioner Coyle.
Yes, we're going to have a working group meeting coming up shortly to try to get a organizational meeting just to get a schedule of how we're going to proceed. So that will start next week, and then we'll take it from there.
Great. Anything else you want to add, Chief?
Oh, I'd just say we're progressing. We've met with the consultants. We've been forming an agenda of how we're going to address the project moving forward. I think once we have this meeting with a community group that's participating in it, we'll move forward, and shortly thereafter be having a public meeting, welcome the community, open to discussion.
And just for clarification purposes, because I know many folks have asked me, where are we going to have a new police facility? What are we going to do with the existing police facility? All of this is in the works. There is no location identified yet. All of the planning and efforts relative to scoping the size of the facility, deciding where it's sited, is in process and underway. So
And
very public process.
just to add to that, I know, in this regard, speaking for the commission, I know the commission is very committed to having as much public input as possible.
Yes, that will all be part of the process. Community priorities, we have at the top of the list, school safety. We know this has been top of mind, especially in light of the events of last month. Chief, I don't know if you want to share any update as to whether or not we've engaged with school board, superintendent, where things stand there.
So yesterday, when we were speaking on the budget proposal, the conversation came up with the council and the school department relative to adding SROs to the elementary school. It's open for discussion to continue moving forward. There's a lot of moving pieces to that. And also want to get more input from those involved in the community. So it's a work in progress, but the discussions are taking place.
Great. I also know there's been lots of preliminary discussion about fortifying the physical spaces in the schools, and I don't know how much we've been involved in those conversations to date, at least not much that I've known.
Yeah, so Captain Cummins is a kind of our liaison school safety. He's been meeting with the school superintendent and school staff about projects that can be done, and I know the school department has worked on getting some grant money to address some of those needs. So the superintendent, I think, is putting a plan together for all the schools on how they can improve on the safety there.
Great, thank you. Any other questions on that topic today? Okay, update on the timing for the CAD RMS software implementation and contracting?
Daisy and I finished our review of the contract. It was lengthy and thick, but we completed that. It's up in legal right now, with the goal to have a clean, authorized contract to sign prior to June 30th.
Wow. Great.
That was actually ahead of the original schedule, right? I thought we'd be signed contract at the end of the summer.
Yeah.
So that puts us a little ahead,
Yeah.
which is great. Thank you for.
Yep.
Okay, update on budget timing. I know there was a budget meeting last night. Other things we should review about that process and the timeline for debate, public debate?
I don't know if Karen, if you know the exact timeline. I know there's another public meeting coming up, actually this week, Thursday night.
Yeah, the city councilors are having sort of like public comment sessions or conversation sessions, I should say. And they're scheduled in 3 different locations in the city on that night. So I think we're going to try and attend some of those. Then next week, I believe the 23rd, the public hearing on the budget citywide is going to continue. And what they asked in our budget hearing is if we could provide a detail of our overtime expenditures, because we spent almost $1 million last year on overtime, where we have a budget of about $600,000. And we've already got that completed, the analysis of that, so we'll provide that to them. This year, we're already at $800,000 expended, and it's all because of the openings and whatnot.
Yeah, so just to be clear for those watching at home, the overtime expenditures, including, as you likely saw in the newspaper recently, about salaries and the municipal budget allocated towards salaries. There was a dispatcher who was high on that list, and the reality is it's because we're having to pay so much overtime because we have so many vacancies. So the goal is to fill the positions that are open and get the staff where we needed to be in dispatch, so we don't have that kind of overtime.
Since you mentioned the salary list.
Yes.
I just wanted to clarify, we do an annual report on that, and we break all the pay down. Included in that salary for the people in the police department, most of them, outside work is included in that. So, and that's not taxpayer paid. So I just wanted to clarify, when you're breaking things down, that's not their base salary in any way, shape, or form. And there's different benefits in there. There's, but the outside work is the big one. I mean, that's.
So you're referring to a lot of the details that
That is
get
correct.
picked up, but obviously the
Paid by a
people-
vendor.
Yeah, a vendor who wants the work done
Yeah.
is paying the city to
Correct.
have that detail, and although the officer is being paid, it's just the city works more as a pass-through.
Correct.
A question, the May 23rd meeting, is that here?
I believe so, yeah.
Do you know what time it is?
I'll have to look it up, but I'll get that before the end of the meeting.
Okay, and then anything else under police commission items that either of you would like to raise or address? And then, again, just excited to have a new police officer sworn in earlier tonight, and also to acknowledge and recognize Detective Jones for her Child Advocacy Award. And now we will turn it over to you, Chief, for approval of some grants. For a grant.
Need you guys to approve a grant in the amount of $24,759 from the New Hampshire Department of Justice through the Victims of Crime Act, the VOCA grant. This grant is for the expenses incurred and services rendered for direct victim services, including expenses for personnel. In the new fiscal year, July 1st, 2023, the grant will transition to the city's legal department.
I
I'll need a.
I move to accept the grant in the amount of $24,759 from the New Hampshire Department of Justice through the Victims of Crime Act and to forward it to the City Council for their approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, moving on to traffic stats, Deputy Maloney.
Thanks, Chief. For the month of April, Patrol Division conducted 752 motor vehicle stops. 52 summonses were issued for various traffic offenses, and we had 46 reportable motor vehicle crashes within the city. Staying on topic of motor vehicle safety and motor vehicle laws, opportunity to advertise. We have it on our Facebook page, but the department has been the recipient. We were asked from New Hampshire Office of Highway Safety to participate in a grant-funded program aimed at raising awareness to common traffic laws, some unknown traffic laws, educational information for new drivers, elderly drivers, some of the common rules of the road that people may have forgotten. And our officers have been running this grant-funded program. I think the reason why I say this is because this week, May 18th, this Thursday, at 5 p.m. at the library, we'll be running the program again. And I think this is probably about the 6th time we've run the program. It's free, it's open to the public, anybody can attend, and it's a great opportunity to get a refresher on motor vehicle laws, again, whether you're a new driver, middle-aged driver, or older driver, and it's a great opportunity to have interaction with some of our officers, and there's great Q&A that goes along with it, and in talking to Office of Highway Safety, they've come and viewed our presentation, and they've called it a model for the state based on kind of how we've put it together, so that's certainly worth mentioning. If more people attend that, the better, and you can stay tuned to our Facebook page as we continue to run the program. We advertise on there where and when it'll be held. So,
Do we have a first date? Want to just remind everybody?
yep. The next presentation is this Thursday, May 18th, 5 p.m. at the Portsmouth Library.
Great.
It runs about an hour and a half. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on this topic?
All right, I'm going to move to the financial report. Karen will be doing that, just on the strategic plan. She has her part done, I just need to update my part of it, so that'll be done this week.
Okay, so the public dialogue sessions for the budget are May 18th. They're doing 5:30 to 9:30 at the middle school, 6 to 7 at the community campus, and 7 to 8 at the senior center. And then I had my date wrong. It's May 22nd that the public hearing will reopen at 6 p.m. here.
May 22nd.
May 22nd, City Council work session regarding the budget review at 6 p.m.
Great, thank you.
Okay. For the FY23 budget, we're now at 7% below the cap versus 6 as of the end of April. As I stated the last time, we are definitely going to be returning money. We're just accommodating a few unknown projects that we had during the fiscal year. On grants, we're in the process of completing a $30,000 CERT grant application that should go in this week, working with Lieutenant Tondro on that. We are in process of transitioning the VAWA and the VOCA grants, the Victim Advocate grants. One that you approved tonight, we have to approve it under you, and then we have to transfer it over to the city because they're now going to take ownership of those. We are just about ready to hopefully get our ICAC grant application to fill out, and we just got notified on the Bulletproof Vest grant, so that's due at the end of June. And then I just wanted to add one thing on the building, the space needs update. The chief, the deputy, I, and then all the division department managers met with the architect. So we are almost done with that, and that's the first piece before they know how big of a building and where to put it. So that's being completed, and it should be done this week by the architect.
You call that a needs assessment, or how do you just,
Space needs.
space needs,
And
okay.
they literally put every room, every hallway, the thickness of the wall.
Yeah.
So it's pretty detailed.
Great. Questions about the financial report? I guess one question I have when related specifically to the grant applications update, these grants are ones that we continue to, they come up every so often.
They
We're
do.
familiar with them. Are you seeing other new sources for grant dollars?
When there's a need within the department, then we go after different grants.
Okay.
A long time ago, we used to put the cart before the horse and get a grant and then get something, and it didn't work. So it's just basically when we see something out there that goes with what we're doing or
Your
what we're
priorities.
trying to do, we pursue it.
Great. And are we, in terms of the strategic plan update, do we have does it make sense to schedule time at maybe the July meeting to present it?
Sure.
Would that work?
Or, I was gonna say, I want to get a draft to you first before.
Sure.
Before we do that.
Okay.
Should be able to do that before our July meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions on the financial report? None. And I should just share before we adjourn that our next regular meeting will be July 18th. And then just for summer dates, because I know summer months are tricky, July 18th and August 15th are the two summer meetings. Any other miscellaneous business anybody would like to raise? All right. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.